In the last few weeks, I was talking to a lot of founders, and I was actually surprised by how many haven't set up their own operating system inside Claude Code. So in this video, I just want to walk you through 5 steps for how you can set up your own Claude Code operating system, where you can manage all your agency's operations within Claude Code. And I want to walk you through 5 steps that are necessary to get you onboarded. And for that, I have been using and have been working with my own operating system for the last 6 months or so. And what I did last week was I templated my project structure and created a new GitHub where I basically outlined everything about my project structure, about the folders and files I have, and basically added a skill that onboards you to the entire setup. So after talking to the agent for about like 10 minutes, you will have your operating system set up. So yeah, let's get started. First of all, what you need to do is you need to clone the GitHub, and you need to install the Claude app if you haven't yet. I think most of you should have done that, but what you can do is you can just install the Claude app by looking it up, and then somewhere in here, I'm not sure where, but you should be able to see that, and probably go to somewhere here. I'm not sure right now, but yeah, I mean, it's right here. So you can do that. And if you've done that, you will log into your account, and then the next step would be to clone the repository. So like a repository is something that lives where all your code lives in, and it's available on GitHub. So like I said, I templated it. So what you only have to do is you basically have to go to your agent inside Claude Code, and I will show you in a minute of how that will look like. And you will just ask the agent to clone the repository. And then the next step would be to ask the agent to onboard me into the workspace. And what I use Whisperflow for coding purposes, or even like creating content, where I just like yap into the microphone. And if you haven't heard of Whisperflow yet, which I think you should have, because like every day I get ads about it, and it's a really cool product. So you can definitely use that to talk about your company, your offerings, your ICP, and give your agent more context about you and about your company. And then this is basically like the only things that you have to do to get started on this operating system, because everything else will be set up by the agent. The next step will be setting up your own skills. And what you can do is you can access a skill library. So a skill library is basically something where which I also set up for my own skills. So I think we have about 15 skills in here. I don't think you need every skill, but you can get started by creating your own skills. Or accessing this skill library, where we have skills set up for list building, for enrichment, for getting signals, for scraping people's posts on LinkedIn and extracting the voice. But I would recommend you just going over your most important workflows, the tasks that you're doing yourself, and just like, for example, you can use Whisperflow as well to go over them, and then actually set up your own unique skills with integrating your own platforms. And then also the 4th step would be to upload references and resources about your company. So for example, if you're a cold email agency owner and you have specific files and knowledge about like templates from old campaigns, or knowledge about that you think that you use for yourself, and that you can just bump them into the to your agent, and he will save them inside a folder under references. So every time, for example, you create a cold email campaign, or you want to create a new cold email campaign, the agent can access those files and reference the specific content to create the campaign. So instead of you having to go through the files, the agent will do it for you. And finally, I want to give you a quick understanding about my framework for working with Claude Code. So on the top, we have agents. So for example, we have you can use AI builders like Claude Code, Codex, Hermes, and OpenClaw. And then to make those agents actually useful, you give them specific skills, where skills are basically like SOPs, so standard operating procedures about how something actually works. So for example, when you build a list, you go through AI arc for the lookalike builder, which you can use as a skill. So it creates the list, then it uses enrichment vendors like Prospero or Apollo to enrich the the people inside the list, and then you can use other skills to get this specific signals from the company. So for example, if they're hiring, or you extract the topics they're talking about on LinkedIn, so you can like personalize your outreach, and for that you use these skills. And then you have files, which you will set up when you get onboarded on your operating system. You have files for the positioning, ICP, pricing, playbooks, messaging, and your own like tone and voice. So like how you want an email to be written, how you want your post to be written. And you set up all these files inside and the onboarding flow. And then you have the context graph, which is what I'm building with News, which basically gives your agents the complete picture of an account, where we save everything happening inside go-to-market, from replies, every touch point, every conversation, every meeting you have with a client, with a lead, will be saved in one place. So the agent can query this with an MCP server instead of having to go through your meeting notes, your email threads, your CRM, and other tools, just to get simple context about an lead. And yeah, it's really easy to set up. We even provide this so you can open source it, and so you can self-host this on your own server, so it's completely free. But yeah, this is kind of like the agent layer, the context layer, and then we have the brain, where the agent makes the decisions and it evaluates its decisions, and over time it gets better. So for example, it learns from your past deals and clients, so it sharpens your ICP model, and every time you score a new lead, the ICP scoring is improved based on the last closed deals that are lost or won. And then finally, we have integrations, and you can pretty simply add them inside Claude Code as well, so where the work actually happens. So when you have an agent and you want him to like create an email campaign, you also want the agent to directly push that email campaign into instantly, for example. So you can set up all your integrations inside Claude Code that will help you actually doing the work inside these tools, instead of you having to go through like this, and this tool and constantly switching tabs. So yeah, just wanted to give you a basic overview about this. And here's like how skill works. I think I already like went over this, so we don't have to go over this again. But for example, we have the skill called a content scan, where you provide a profile link, and then we'll go through the same steps for each of the profile URLs I give it to. So for example, it pulls a LinkedIn profile, it calls our Apify scraper. Apify is basically a scraping marketplace where you can you pay for actors, and they do some kind of scraping for you. So for example, Google Maps scraping, you can extract business accounts from there. In our case, we will call Apify to scrape LinkedIn post. It scrapes the last 5 posts. It extracts all the engagers. It adds those engagers to a list. So for example, in Google Sheets, it will enrich the list with platforms like Prospero or like Find Email or other like enrichment vendors, and then it scores the list with an ICP. So we get like an ICP scoring, and we can see, okay, what tier the lead is in. If it's like, for example, tier 1, we personally reach out, but if it's tier 2 or 3, we will rather push them into like an automated campaign where we send out a cold email for them. That's kind of like the idea of a skill of like going over these things. So I just wanted to give you like a basic overview about how everything works and connects. And then finally, talking about the template that you can clone and create your own operating system. Here's kind of like an overview, and if you're a bit more experienced with Claude Code and the structure, this is something that you can check out, and even on our GitHub itself, you can go into it and see the project structure. So basically, we have the context files, which are really important. The folder here, references, where you can update and upload your own like files and knowledge. But also, this is really important. So you can constantly learn. You can see the decisions you made. You can save your meetings, for example, with your co-founder in here, and keep everything in one place. But I don't want to talk too much about about all these things without even showing you how to do it. So I did it earlier with a new GitHub structure and as my agent inside Claude Code. So this is the app itself, and in here you can use Claude Desktop, but also Claude Code. You would just switch to Claude Code, and then first of all, you will start a new session with like, you can click on a new session to start a new session with the agent. But also what you can do is you can click on customize, for example, and then here you can add new integrations to it. So for example, when you want to integrate something, you can connect your Gmail to it, you can connect your Google Calendar to it and everything. So, or instantly, for example, so you can actually the agent can actually access these tools and go into them using like an API call or the MCP server. So it has all the abilities to actually do the work inside these tools. But I wanted to show you, my chat I had earlier, where I did the exact same things. I already had downloaded the app of Claude, and then I just asked him. I asked the agent to clone the repository, and then it cloned it for me. And then you basically only have to say run the onboarding for me. And then it goes to the intake form file where I've set up a specific, I think it's about 10 questions. And the idea is of the next few minutes that you go through these questions and provide the agent with as much information about your company and additional resources that you can provide to the agent. So it knows as much as possible about your company. And later on, you can also add integrations to it. The first question was to provide the website link. That's what I did. And kind of already knew information about me because I used the agent, and the agent also had access to other project structures from before. So it kind of had a basic understanding of what I'm doing. But yeah, I use Whisperflow to talk about these things that I put in here. And basically you can see answer the questions. So for example, the second question was, what do you sell and why does it matter? Who's your ideal customer? How do you talk about the problem and what's your proof? So I basically went over all these questions and used Whisperflow to tell them to the agent. And what I actually recommend you to do is you provide more resources. So for example, if you have a workspace in Notion and you already have mapped out your manifesto, your positioning, provide as much content to the agent as you can. So the setup will be actually more detailed and therefore better. You give better context. Also, what I did was I went over my last LinkedIn post and attached some posts. So it learns about how I write, how I talk. So it can use that as references for creating content in the future. So yeah. I think the next step was, it also asked me about my go-to-market stack. And I basically told him about a few integrations, tools that I'm using. And then the next step will be to actually integrate them with the customization here and then adding those integrations here. What else? So perfect. Then it actually it took a few minutes, but then actually created all the context files. So you can see we have the about me, positioning, ICP, messaging, voice and tone, competitors and pricing. So it has the whole context. So it has the whole context about my company. And then also asked me to integrate news, which I basically use for my own agency, for my own company to run on. So that's what we did as well. And then I also gave the agent the repository about the go-to-market skills that I've set up, that I showed you in the beginning. And so we have 4 skills in the operating system installed already, which is the onboarding skill, the audit skill, which I would recommend you to run every week, so you can consistently improve your operating system, and then also a morning brief. So every morning I ask him for my daily priorities, for my goals, and what leads I'm dealing with. And then the intel skill, which scrapes, which gets and pulls the meetings that I had for the week and puts them into a folder so we can see all the strategic decisions that I make, for example, with my co-founder. And then inside the GitHub, we have list related skills related to building list for signals, for creating actual emails, and also for more on the RevOps side for the pipeline handling and review. But actually what I recommend you to do is you just map out what tasks you have in your agency every single day. And basically use Whisperflow to go over them and really detailed go over what you're doing, what tools are related to that task. And you basically yap into your computer for a few minutes. And then with the agent, actually refine the skill and create the skill. So you can test this out. Obviously, it takes a few runs to perfectionize the skill, but that's the idea, that you slowly and but surely build and improve your AI operating system inside Claude Code. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, you can reach me in the comments, but also on LinkedIn. I will also include both links to the AI operating system in the comments, but also for the go-to-market skills. So you can access to both things, and then you basically just do the same thing that I did in this chat, cloning the repository, onboarding, and then it takes about like 10 to 20 minutes to go through the questions and the agent to build the context files. And then everything what happens after is up to you. You can create skills, you can run agents, and learn how to use Claude Code for your own agency or the company you're running, to leverage AI to save you up to 20 hours every single week. So I hope that helps. And if so, just leave a like and a comment. Let me know how you think about this. And I see you in the next video.